Hello and welcome to another Retro Crazy. This is a part 3 I didn't think I was going to be doing because I didn't expect the Atari to cause me so much problems. However, this is part 3 of the Atari series, looking at my Atari 400 and trying to restore it into working condition. In part 1 I redid the Atari, in part 2 I did the 410s and then went to testing. Unfortunately at testing, the keyboard proved to be dead. Parts of it were working, not much of it. So what do? Well, I jumped onto a couple of different forums, and Exos, which I've used before, I put out a shout saying I was looking for a keyboard. I had a couple of responses and I was pointed towards an American company called Best Electronics, who still sell a lot of original Atari parts, new old stock, and they had these keyboards. So after a bit of toing and froing, the price was $29.95 for a brand new keyboard, which sounds brilliant. However, $57.75 shipping and $5.71 for PayPal fees was to be added, making the total $93.41, or the best part of about £80 for what should have been about a £24 keyboard. A factor of 3 is not good, not at all. I did have another responder on Exos forums, a man by the name of Andres Plaza R, who said, look, I've bought one of these, turns out I don't need it because it was the pokey chip on his, I do believe he said. So I could have it for the $29.95 and he would check what the shipping was, and it was $29. So I sent him $56.95, which is about £45. And I've been waiting, and I've been waiting, and I've been waiting. And today I have a brand new, unopened 400 keyboard, which has just arrived. So let me open this for the first time. Brand new old stock Atari 400 keyboard. Shiny. So let me get this fitted and then we can go for proper testing. So with that all done, let's nip down and find out if there's any improvement. So with the picture back on the TV, let's find out if we have any improvement. Wow. Yeah, system reset. It looks like we've got a working Atari. Superb. Job is good. Right, now we can move on and look at testing the 410s, something that I couldn't do before. So I've got 1, 2 410s. So let's power off the Atari, plug one of these in, and find out, first of all, if the decks turn. They do have their own power supply as well to run these. So let's move on. Now before we test the tape decks, I'm going to check and make sure that we're getting the correct voltage. 9 to 10 volts, and it's a 6 volt output. The rest will be drawn on load, so that's fine. The tape deck power supply is working. So I'm now going to power this up, and hopefully rewind, advance, and everything seems to be working. So I'm going to fast forward this to the end because this tape has not been played in decades. Okay, this deck has a problem with rewind. Fast forward is working fine. Let's see if we can get this to actually play. Now I believe you hold down the start button while you power on the Atari. You get a beep. And then so far it seems to be doing what it's supposed to. I don't think the picture is fully tuned in. I would need to fine tune it because every now and again I'm getting a pop and you're getting that warning. And there we go, it's running fine. Superb. Unfortunately, I forgot to actually plug in a joystick, and as you can see, that pop I think is being caused by nothing more than not being fine-tuned correctly, and I just can't remember how to fine-tune. Let's try. Okay, unfortunately I don't think I'm going to get it any better. A lot of the ghosting, I'm going to guess, is just being caused by the fact that it's such an old system running on a modern LCD. It's just not liking the input. However, let's try find out if we've got a fire button, or nope. Looks like we actually do need a joystick, which is a shame. I don't think there are any controls listed. Yep, single joystick, such is life. But we know this deck works other than the rewind, which is a shame. So let's power off, swap over to the other deck, and let's plug in a joystick. So we're over to the second deck. Rewind on this one is perfect. Fast forward was working there as well. So let's take this back to the start of the tape, plug in a joystick, and take it from there. Now that we have a joystick plugged in, let's Let's do the same again. Press play, hold start and power on. Tape deck starts up. So we had a boot error. That's a shame. Let's rewind. And we'll try that once more. And again, a boot error. That's a shame. It looks like this deck is going to need a bit more work. It's probably just a head alignment. However, to do that, I've got to take the fascia off, typically, because the access hole for it is underneath. The problem I'm going to have is I really need an alignment cassette and program. So I can't take testing of the Atari any further with the 410, or at least this one. The other one is at least loading. Let's go back to cartridge and see what a game looks like when you can play it. Okay, we've got Centipede in. Let's see what happens. So press start. Oh. Wow, I remember it being crazy, but not quite this crazy. Ah, when you're side on, everything looks straight up and down. This is definitely running. I think this is more than enough proof that we now have a fully functional Atari. Oh wow, yeah, I remember this being quite difficult. It's all about trying to keep the level clear. See what I mean? Oh my goodness. They were coming quite thick and fast. Oh, could have trouble here. Hey, this is fun. Anyway, thank you for watching. I got so engrossed in that. Yay! Remember to like and subscribe. I'm so glad that Atari 400 is running. Okay, there's a couple of issues I've got to work out with the decks. But you know what? I don't care. It's such an iconic shape. The 400, so I keep dragging it every time I try and keep this cable down. It's such an iconic shape. It's a classic from the 80s, especially that logo. Long may it live on. Thank you for watching. If you like the trials and trepidations I've gone through trying to get this thing running, remember to like and subscribe, and I'll hopefully see you on the next Retro Crazy.